What's up, y'all? It's Drake's Takes. We're here live. We're about to talk to my boy Mo. What's up, Mo? How's it going?
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Pretty good, pretty good. We're talking NFL draft today. How excited are you for Thursday?
I'm excited. I'm ready, and just overwhelmed. I don't know who's going where, but I just know it's going to be a great draft.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm super excited. It really comes up on me every year because there's other stuff popping off. I'm just going to get right into it. My Raiders with the number one pick. Mendoza's the guy. What's your thoughts and feelings on him? I'm feeling pretty positive. I think he's super accurate. He's a winner, obviously, Heisman and national champion. He's tall. I like that. He's got he's got a lot of great attributes. I don't think he's going to get caught up in the Vegas lifestyle. I think that's really important. He seems like a grounded guy. How do you feel about him?
I like Mendoza. I think the biggest thing for me when it comes to him is his you talk about the little things, the intangibles. I think he's a great leader. I think he can will his team to win in close games. And I think he just put the team on his back. And one of his most underrated uh, values, I guess, for the quarterback position, I think he's a little underrated on athleticism. I don't think we give him enough credit for that as well, too. But I think he's solid.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great reset. He's got Kirk Cousins there with him now too to teach him a couple things. That's incredible. We got the 36 pick as well. I'm thinking we go either O lineman or I'm thinking maybe wide receiver. A couple guys around that range. Denzel Boston from Washington. I'm a big fan of him, and Casey Concepcion from Texas A&M. I like both those guys at 36. Any thoughts or feelings?
I think they go wide receiver there too. I like the pick of a wide receiver. Don't know who's going to be there, but I definitely like Concepcion. Definitely like Concepcion. I'm very high on him. I think he would be a great asset for the Raiders moving forward. Just picking up the pieces to help Mendoza out, building the team around him. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the Raiders look moving forward with building those pieces around him. And I think they'll do a great job with that in the draft.
Yeah, this should be great. We got Linderbaum. We may have talked about that already another day, but Linderbaum's going to be great in the middle of that offensive lineman. He's going to give Mendoza a day one just guy who he can rely on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, he's going to get to that offensive line and definitely give him the help that he needs and
Definitely.
building up his confidence moving forward.
Yeah,
Great offseason pickup, by the way.
100%, 100%. Number two, we got the New York Jets. Just a sad situation in New York, I think, last year. Probably one of the nastiest seasons I've watched, and I watched the Raiders last year too. So I'm used to watching bad seasons, but the Jets, I don't know if I was the only one where it just felt like they were just so not on the same page most of the year. Not one wide receiver had over 400 yards. The offense just looked stagnant. The defense looked mediocre. They traded Sauce Gardner. But this two pick will do a lot to help them, I think.
Yeah, they have a lot of holes to fill here in this spot. And I think they'll just take the best available with that pick. The Jets are the Jets. As a lot of football fans, the Jets are the
Yeah.
Jets. They've just been so used to them being bad that it's pretty sad. But hopefully they can turn things around moving forward. But the Jets are going to just be the Jets at the end
So
of the day.
seems like this second pick, I would say Arvell Reese. A lot of people have been arguing for David Bailey. Do you have a dog in that fight? I've watched a lot of Arvell Reese. Um, so I understand how good he is. I think he's a super talented guy. He can pass rush. He's kind of small, which is fine, but he's got a lot of upside, amazing vision for a linebacker, and he's super fast. He ran a 4.4 at the combine, so he's pretty awesome.
I think so too. I like Reese. I like both. I like Reese and Barry probably equally, honestly. I just think it depends what you want to do, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think Reese, you could use off ball and as well the edge too. And then uh, David Bailey, I think he's a great pass rusher. Um, both both are great. Uh, for them, they can go either way. They just need all the help they can get. But I like Reese at that spot too. I like
Definitely.
Reese just for the versatility, and they can use him in many different ways. So I like that for him. I like them taking all that Reese.
Definitely. And they have the 16th pick as well. I'm thinking, I don't know your opinions, maybe a wide receiver at 16, maybe a Jordan Tyson or a Makai Lemon specifically. I like both of those guys. A lot of Makai Lemon this year I saw. He's going to be a day one, probably number one on any team. So my personal between the two is probably Makai Lemon. I don't know if you have a different opinion on that between Jordan Mason and Makai Lemon.
I like both. I like both. I'm a little higher on Makai Lemon. I really like him a lot. He showed a lot what he could do at that slot receiver position, and he's very explosive. He has good hands, and I think he could be a quarterback's best friend at the end of the day. You know, someone who's very reliable and can go out there and make a play when you need
Definitely.
it.
Definitely. The Cards coming in with the third pick. Another team that just has they're like SpongeBob. They got so many holes. It's messed up. It's I don't know. I would say maybe David Bailey here, or maybe they try and go and get one of the top tackles or guards in Francis Moaga or Spencer Fanu. What do you say about David Bailey at 3?
I think that's where they go with this pick. You know, depending on you know who the Jets go with, whether they go with Reese or not, I think Bailey and Reese is interchangeable with those two. If one goes second, the other one goes third. I think you have to take either or at that point.
100%, 100%. Going to pick 4. This is my personal. If it goes the way I'm projecting it, this is one of my personal favorite picks. The Titans are picking at 4. Just a little bit on the Titans going into this next year. They have a new stadium being built in 2027. They just got a new OC, Brian Dable. I really like him as an OC. Not the greatest head coach in my opinion, but if you can just let him run an offense, he's awesome. Robert Salah is your new head coach. He's fun. They got Cam Ward, who had a really solid year last year. I just think this pick has to be Jeremiah Love. I think you want to get a guy in there with burst. He's a game breaker. I've watched him the last few years at Notre Dame. He's incredible. He's must-watch TV. I just think this has to be the pick at 4, especially with Pollard and Spears on the last year of their contracts.
This has to be the pick here for. Has to be the pick here for. No brainer. Go with Jeremiah Love here. Love this pick. I know over time, people haven't been very high on running backs going early, but I think they have to go in this direction here. Give Cam Ward some help moving forward, have a more of an explosive offense. No knock on the other running back, but I just think that Jeremiah Love gives you a different look offensively. So I'm definitely hoping that he lands here in Tennessee. I would like to see how that offense does with Brian Daboll calling the shots moving forward, having Cam Ward, which I think they'll have a much better season this year, especially
Definitely,
on offense.
definitely. They'd have a much better season, and they also I think they have the pick. They have pick 35. They have a couple openings at edge and wide receiver as well. I think it would be in their best interest to maybe get a wide receiver. I think that'd be pretty awesome. So I think maybe like an Omar Cooper from Indiana, or or like we said, a Denzel Boston. I think they got Wan'Dale Robinson, but another tough wide receiver would be really great for them.
Yes, they need to get as much help as possible. Help Cam Ward out. Let's see him have a great season. Give him the weapons that he needs, and just give him just just build a team around him. You know, give him the weapons, and we'll see where it goes. But I definitely think they go wide receiver, or they might just flip it and go defense. But I hope they give Cam Ward some help.
100%. 100%. Next, we have the New York Giants coming up, and this is a really interesting pick because just earlier today, we found out that the Giants traded Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals for the 10th pick. And this is kind of an interesting trade to me because I do like Dexter Lawrence, three-time Pro Bowler, been in the top of the league every year he's been in the league, pretty much. But if you trade your 10th pick for Dexter Lawrence, the Raiders trade with the Ravens was for the 14th pick. And I just don't think Dexter Lawrence is 4 picks better than Max Crosby. I think this is a really great trade for the Giants. I'm not so sure about the Bengals.
Yeah, I don't know what the Bengals. I mean, I really do like this Lawrence, but I don't think the defense, the Bengals just were desperate, honestly, in trying to look for a guy. But you know, it is what it is. That defense was horrible last year, so I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely a steal for the Giants, though. Moving forward, I think this was a steal.
And I think at this 5th pick, it's kind of between Buckeyes, to be honest. I think the Giants could very well take Carnell Tate, the wide receiver, Caleb Downs, the safety, or even Sonny Styles, a linebacker. I would say Caleb Downs. I think he's a kind of a generational safety that could come in and play day one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Caleb Downs is very versatile. He does everything well. He's very disciplined on that back end. I love how he played at Ohio State. Um, he's just all around just great athlete, great guy, good leader for that Ohio State team. So very, this is a very good pick for the Giants. I think they have to go Caleb Downs here. But I wouldn't mind seeing any other Ohio State pick here as well. But I really just love him going to the Giants here. They've had issues in their secondary for a while now, so I think bringing him on that back end, having him lead the secondary, is a great pickup.
Yep,
for them.
100%. I would love that pick for them. Let's move on to pick number 6. The Browns are there. I don't know what to say. The Browns had a weird year last year. They had Shador at quarterback for most of the year, which I'm not going to get into it now because we're talking draft, but I think Shador kind of got disrespected. I think he didn't get enough respect from the Browns in general because that team was not good, and he fought his ass off that whole season for them. And I think he deserves a little more respect for trying his best. He's still super young and raw. So I looks like Deshaun Watson is going to be the quarterback there, but I would love if Shador got a couple snaps in the preseason and just let's see if he can build on a couple of those plays that he made later in the year.
Yeah, so I would love to see that as well. I think that they need to just look for the future and see like the series that's gonna moving forward here with this league. And what better way to add another option at um at receiver than go with Carnell Tate. You know, I know they got Jerry Judy, but obviously they need more help at wide receiver. And I think they gotta go Carnell Tate here. I think they have to. Yeah, I like Harold Fanning. I like Quinshawn Judkins. I like Dylan Sampson. I think the Browns have done a great job with the draft last year, adding those weapons, adding those guys. So I think we just had a wide receiver here.
Yep.
It'll make it easy for the quarterback, regardless of who it is.
Yeah, I really agree with that one. I think that would be a really solid pick. If they don't go wide receiver there, they could go maybe one of the linemen, Francis Moaga from Miami, or Spencer Fanu, the tackle from Utah, because they also do have the 24th pick. So maybe one of those top tier wideouts falls to 24, and you get the best of both worlds with an offensive lineman and a solid wideout.
Very true. Very true. Yes.
Um, but Carnell Tate, watching him in college, I think he's one of the better wideouts coming out in terms of running routes and just making the right plays as a wide receiver. Is there anything you're big on route running and hand fighting and stuff like that? From Carnell Tate, I think we saw he was one of the best. He's obviously the best wide receiver on the board this year, but I think he's got all the skills to be a great NFL wide receiver.
Yes, I think he has all the tools. He has the size, right? And a lot of teams like that like to go 6'2", 6'3" a receiver. And he can do all things like you said. He's efficient. He just finds ways to get open,
Yep.
whether that be with his speed, route running, like you mentioned, and yeah, I like Carnell Tate a lot. Very high on him, despite um, what all the experts are saying. I'm very high on him.
Well, it's hard for him because Jeremiah Smith, the other Ohio State wide receiver, is so flashy and insane. But Carnell Tate is like, he's like the glue guy. He catches everything. He runs the right route. Like, he's not the loudest guy in the room, but he does everything right. And that's what you need on an NFL wide receiver.
Absolutely.
So that's good for them. That's awesome. We're gonna go to pick 7, the Washington Commanders. This is an interesting pick. One of the guys here that I'm very high on, but there was just some news came out about him the other day is Ruben Bain. There's some news about a prior driving incident that he had that could maybe send him down the draft board, but this stuff happens. I think he's too good to not take here at 7. Watching him, he's probably my favorite player I watched all year. He's a dog. He's got a crazy motor. He's quick off the line. Some people say he has smaller arms, but I think he can really his play can defeat a couple inches of smaller arm length.
Yeah, I really like Ruben Bain. Not being biased because I'm a Miami fan, but I really do like Ruben Bain. Though he doesn't have motor, he doesn't give up on plays, and I just think he's really efficient. He's really efficient, and he will, regardless of the small arms and them bringing up the media, finding something, bringing up something right before the draft, with the drama. Despite all that, I think he's a solid athlete, great pass rusher, and he'll find a way to get to the quarterback. And I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. And what they don't pick again until 71. So I think it's in their best interest to maybe take a look at some of the late round wide receivers. A couple guys I'm really into in those later rounds would be Jeremy Bernard from Bama and Chris Brazzell from Tennessee. I think both those guys are really, really solid. They catch everything. Jeremy Bernard is very quick. He didn't get as much love because of Ryan Williams, but I think he was sneakily the best receiver on that Alabama team.
Absolutely, he definitely showed that he was the best receiver on that team last year. The way Alabama utilized him in many different ways, they found a way to get him the ball. He's great in open space, and I think with a guy like that, with his ability and his talents, you just have to find a way to get him the ball, and
Definitely,
he'll make a play for you. He will make a play for you.
definitely.
Whether it's on the slide on the outside, he'll make a play.
Okay, we're gonna go. Yeah, he's awesome. He's incredible. We're gonna go to the Saints here at 8. Who would you have them picking here at the 8 slot?
At the end spot, Saints. Depending on who's there, I think they go wide receiver.
Okay.
I think they go wide out. I think they go Jordan Tyson here at wide out. I think they definitely need to get Tyler Shuck and have another receiver opposite of Chris Olave, and I think they go wide receiver there.
Yeah, I definitely like that pick. Another guy to keep an eye on here because they do need cornerback help is Mansour Delane from LSU. I think he had a really solid year. He's far and above, I think, the best cornerback in this draft. Would you have any qualms with him going to the Saints at 8?
No, the Saints need help on that back end too. They definitely need help in that secondary. They definitely help in that secondary. And like you said, he's the best corner hands down in this draft. Best corner in this draft.
Definitely.
There's no debate about that. He's the best corner in the draft. So whether they address the wide receiver or corner position right there, either or. Either or, I think it would be a great pick.
Definitely, definitely. And they have the 40th pick in the second round. I think they need to go edge here. Maybe a TJ Parker from Clemson or a Zion Young from Mizzou, who I really love this year out of Mizzou. I think he's a really solid edge, and maybe he can play at a first round talent and be drafted in the second.
Yes, yes. I know a lot of people talked about the kid from Illinois too, Gabe Jackets.
Yeah.
They mentioned him too. Depending on who's available there, I think that'll be a great pickup for them with that second pick. I think they go BPA available on defense with that pick. So
Definitely.
definitely.
And then the next pick we have is the Chiefs at 9. This is just it's weird seeing them in the top 10 because we're just so used to their dominance. Patrick Mahomes got injured. Travis Kelsey looked his age, but he re-signed for 3 years. So I don't know. This Kansas City, there's a lot of openings on this team. I think maybe they could add another wideout. Maybe they could add a corner because they did lose their two best corners to lost to the Rams, so that's tough for them. Maybe if Mansour Delane falls to them, maybe he keeps slipping. That would be a great pick for them. Jermod McCoy from Tennessee is another great corner, or maybe they just had another wideout. There's still room in that wideout room to grab somebody. Another guy who could be interesting, kind of take that tight end spot from Travis Kelsey would be Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon. So there's a lot of places the Chiefs can go here that would really help them out.
Yeah, it would. I like that Kenyon Sadiq. I think that's very interesting to see that if they do go in that direction, he's clearly the best tight end in this draft. But it'll be interesting to see who they pick. They might have a couple options here, depending on how the draft falls. I think ultimately they might just go wide out here.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, they might just sneak up and go wide out, depending on who's available, who they love the most. And it's very interesting to see because all these players that we mentioned so far can go anywhere within this range. Just depending on how it falls. Because and that's what makes this year's draft so interesting because I don't think we really have outside of maybe the top 4 or 5. We don't know who's going where. And that's what makes it interesting for me. But I definitely think they grab another weapon here on offense when Patrick Mahomes comes back and just give them another weapon, another option on offense.
Definitely, that would be great for them. Next pick, like we said, the Giants just got the 10th pick. There's a lot of openings. A guy we haven't talked about yet, and I think he could be here is Sony Styles, the linebacker out of Ohio State. If he falls to 10 and they end up with Caleb Downs and Sony Styles to really rev that defense up, I think they're one of the biggest winners in this draft.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. and it's a good possibility they could end up with him right here with this pick. It'll be, I think they just go defense, go best available, and I would love for Sonny to be right here for them. This would be absolutely, like you said, this would just be a great pick. Just a great pick. With 5 and 10, and just getting that defense together, moving forward with the offense and Jackson Dart and him leading that team and Cam and just whatever they and moving forward, whatever they decide to do, like I have faith in John Harbaugh being that GM, being that head coach, and making the right picks for that right picks and right decisions for that team moving forward. So I'm very excited to see what the Giants do with this pick.
Definitely. And we did the top 10. We're going to jump to your squad now. The Carolina Panthers with the 19th pick, coming off a really solid year, a couple plays away from beating the Rams in the playoffs. That's hard, but you made the playoffs, so you're pretty happy with that performance. What are you feeling with this spot? I'll let you kick it off, and I'll tell you how I feel about it.
All right. So Carolina has a couple options, but I think ultimately with how they did with free agency, they went and grabbed Devin Lloyd, and which was a great signing. Really loved that signing. That was probably my favorite one with this offseason. Getting a linebacker that can lead that defense, and then of course signing Jaden Phillips to that big contract. So I love that. I love that they addressed the defense and realized that the defense need help and solidifying that. So with this pick, I would like to see them go defense. Carolina had one of the worst defenses in the league last year, and I would like them to go defense here as well. I think they go safety, and I'm hoping that Emmanuel Warren is sitting here at 19, and the Carolina Panthers can draft him. I really like Emmanuel Warren from Toledo. I think he's great. He's very disciplined. He fills in the gaps well. He's not afraid to tackle. He's physical. He forces a lot of turnovers. He gets his hands on the ball. And I just really hope he's there at 19 because I think he can make a difference on that team.
Mm-hmm.
And they need turnovers. They need somebody that can force some turnovers. So I would let me not say I would love for them to draft Emmanuel Warren here if available with that 19th pick.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Obviously, I've seen a ton of Emmanuel McNeil Warren at Toledo. That's my home city, so I've watched a ton of him. He was awesome. He's a ball hawk. He's super explosive. 6'2", probably the second best safety in this draft to me. I really think this Dylan Thieneman is really solid, but he plays a whole different type of safety. He's more of a coverage and a downhill run support guy. McNeil Warren is a big, explosive turnover guy. So they play different types of safeties, but I think they're both would be really solid picks. But also the Panthers already have Trevon Moehrig, so they might not need a Dylan Thieneman type guy. Emmanuel McNeil Warren probably fits that scheme a little better.
Yes, he does. You get Trevon just covering that back end, and more of a coverage guy like you mentioned, and then have Emmanuel Warren just flying all over the place, filling to go at the gaps, filling in the holes, and making plays. So that would be a match made in heaven pairing for the Panthers defense.
Definitely. So from there, we are going to go to our 5-on-5 segment. We do 5 different topics in 5 minutes. So this is kind of a quick hitter. We're going to talk about a couple different teams we didn't, and then we're going to finish off with something pretty fun. So here we go. We're going to get right into it. Start the clock. We're going to talk the Cowboys. They have the 12th and the 20th pick in this year's draft. We haven't really talked about them. There's been talk that they could move up to 6. At 12, I would really like them to get a defensive lineman, maybe a Akeem Mesidor or a Cassius Howell from Texas A&M. What are your thoughts on the Cowboys going into this draft?
I think that the Cowboys just go defense in this draft. They need a lot of help on defense. So regardless of if they do decide to trade up, if they can, if the Browns let them, or whatever's going on, I think they have to go defense regardless. And maybe they're reaching for Sonny Styles. Maybe that's where they want to go with their pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'll be great for them.
Yeah,
They need an explosive, athletic guy. And like I said, they just need to go defense. With most of their picks, they need to go defense with the Cowboys.
100%. And we got the Lions at 17. I think they're definitely going to go tackle, but it's really just depend who falls to them. I think they draft best available tackle. If it's Francis Mayaga, if it's Spencer Fanu, I'm a really big fan of Monroe Freeling. I think he's awesome. Maybe a Blake Miller. But yeah, I'm thinking tackle 100% for the Lions.
Yeah, they have to go. They have to go tackle here. They have to um, support the run game, support the pass game. They have to do something just to help everybody. It'll help the offense. They have a lot of weapons on that team, and what more help can you need than just taking the safe pick here and get drafted an offensive tackle, and they need one too. So, Caden Proctor too is a big guy, and I like him at offensive tackle as well. These tackles coming out this year are huge, like 6'7", 6'6". They're huge. So
Yeah, they're really big. The Steelers on the clock next at 21. They have a lot of stuff they need. One of the guys we haven't really talked about, but he's high up there, is Olaya Vega Ione, the guard from Penn State. Another huge guy. I don't even know. I think he's like 6'4", 328, just a giant guard. I think he would really fit the Steelers' mindset as well. They could also they could go quarterback, or even they could go wide receiver. There's a lot of places that the Steelers could go, and it would help them be more successful in the year to come.
absolutely, and who knows what A-Rod is going to do? So whether that's retire or come back, Steelers was in their best interest to try to get him to come back and, like you said, go offensive line here or go receiver. So whatever they decide to do, whatever best available, they're gonna find a way to help out their quarterback.
Definitely, definitely. And then with the last NFL team we'll talk about, we're going to talk about the Bears at 25. This is a really interesting pick because I think they played above their numbers last year. I think they were a couple of snaps away from making it to the NFC Championship. That would have been incredible. So I think here I would say they go defensive line. I'm a really big fan of Caden McDonald from Ohio State. Also, Caleb Banks from Florida is just a huge presence on that offensive line. And also Pete Woods from Clemson, just a bunch of guys I really like.
Yeah, they they can go. I think they go defensive. Yeah, they go defensive line for sure. And depending on who's available, that's who they'll go with. But like you mentioned, Pete Woods, Caleb Banks. Even Christian Miller, which I know is kind of like further down, but we never know. But those are some great defensive tackles that they definitely need and they could add.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think the Bears go defense here.
100%. And we're gonna end. We just fried our brains on football. I'm just gonna get your opinions on the NBA championship. Playoffs just started. I'm going with Spurs versus Cavs. I'm not going to pick us champion because I don't want to do that right now, but I would obviously pick the Cavs. So, what's your opinion going into the NBA?
Um, oof, I'm gonna go with the way it's looking. Well, with the way the regular season is look, I'm really interested to see the Spurs and OKC. I think that'll be probably the best series we'll get in the playoffs, and I think the winner of that will win the championship ultimately. Um, that's gonna be a hell of a series. I'm thinking seven. Could be wrong, but I think that'll be probably the most. That has to be must see TV for the
Hmm.
NBA. I just think that who between those teams, whichever one makes it out, will win the championship. There's no knock on the East, but I just think the West will come out on top this year. They've looked more dominant and just more competitive this year. So between those two teams, I'm gonna have to go with that. And I do like the Pistons and the Celtics, and I do trust one of those two teams to represent the East.
Definitely. And we're gonna get on up out of here, but just before we go, I'm gonna talk about a few players that we didn't really talk about today that I'm into, and while I talk about them, you can probably think about a couple that you like, maybe in the later rounds. I'm gonna get started with my boy Jadarian Price from Notre Dame, the running back. I think he's very strong. I think he'd be a great fit on many different teams. He's super fast. I would love to see him with Cam Scatterbo in New York. I think that'd be an amazing fit for him. Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker from Texas Tech. He had a really great year, was on the verge of being in Heisman talks. I think he may have even been at the ceremony. I'm not sure, but he's really solid. A little bit. He's got some stuff to work on, but I think he'd be a great fit on a bunch of NFL teams. Just got that dog mentality. And probably one of my favorite players of this whole draft, who's kind of down the draft board, is Zachariah Branch from Georgia. I loved him at Georgia. I loved him at USC. Just a super fast, shifty guy that can fit in the slot on any team in the NFL. So those are just a few guys I really love that didn't get shown much love today. What about you? Do you got any guys specific that you really like that you haven't really heard their name as much from the big guys that are doing the talking?
Yeah, so I like Nicholas Singleton. I think he's a very physical back. I like his run style. Um, he just tries to get after it. And I just really like to see him play. So wherever he goes, they're gonna get somebody who I think is who works hard and they just gonna find he gonna find a way to get through that hole. And he's gonna run through it. He ain't gonna run around it. He's gonna run through it. So I like him a lot at Penn State, and I didn't get to talk about him, but Keontae Scott from Miami, got to throw him out there. He's going to play nickel, whatever team gets him. He's a great nickel corner, and he'll find a way. Whatever you ask him to do, he'll find a way to get the job done.
Definitely.
And he has good instincts, and he's always near the ball. And he's all around. He's just a great corner. Great corner. He does everything well. He gets physical. He's not afraid to make tackles. And again, turnovers, which all teams love for a defender that's, it just attacks the ball and tries to get turnovers.
Definitely.
And then who else? Uh,
Another guy from Miami, specifically CJ Harris, the wide receiver. I really like him. He could be a great, or CJ Daniels, I'm sorry. CJ Daniels from Miami. I think he'd be a really great late round wide receiver for some team.
yeah.
But
I'm trying to think of somebody else who would be good. Oh, just I don't know how I forgot. I really don't know how I forgot. Um, Taylor Green from
yep,
Arkansas.
Taylor Green,
Taylor Green
100%.
from Arkansas.
One of the
I
best
would love to
combines.
see.
One of the best combines we've seen in probably years. An insane
Yeah,
combine. Raised his draft stock by rounds. By rounds, not just a round. I think rounds. So he's incredible. Anywhere he goes, I'll ride with him. Former Razorback. Love to see it. That's a great deep cut.
yeah. He's a hell of an athlete. Obviously, with how he performed at the combine, 6'6" quarterback, and yeah, I know teams that there's been rumors of teams trying to see if they can get him to play wide receiver. I hope that doesn't happen. I really want to see him at quarterback in the league. I think he's a raw talent, quote unquote. But I think in the right system, just like with a lot of QBs, you build a great team around them, a good foundation that they can do good things. So I know he's raw, but I really do like Taylor Green from Arkansas.
I'm a big fan of him as well. Well, we're about out of time here. I really appreciate it. I'm sure we'll talk more about the draft after it's over, but I really appreciate you coming on and giving me some facts and feelings, and I'm hoping that the Panthers pick the right guy.
I hope so too, and thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
All right, have a great day. Appreciate it.
You too.
Bye. All right, that was my brother Mo. Just excited about the NFL draft. It's going to be incredible. This was just a draft preview. I'll come back next week. We'll talk post draft. We'll talk NBA playoffs. We'll get into everything. But if you like NFL draft, this is the episode for you. Thanks so much. Drake's Takes out. Peace.